Uh, uh. This shit went hard. What's good, everybody? This is E2I, and today we're going to discuss the barrier of resistance. We're going to discuss your distractions, the reason why you can't stay productive, the reason you procrastinate. We're going to discuss all these things in today's video. And now you may be thinking, what is the barrier of resistance? I'm going to go ahead and explain the barrier of resistance to the best of my ability. The barrier of resistance is an invisible pull. It's going to throw you off your path. This is going to be in the form of distractions or instant gratification. Another thing that can be a barrier of resistance is going to be your environment. I've spoken on environment in previous videos just to really emphasize the importance and the influence that your environment actually has. So when going into discussing what are distractions are going to either be in the form of people, they're going to be in the form of vices, they're going to be in the form of abundance of information that really don't mean much in this life. And like I said, it's kind of like an invisible pull. These things will try to drag you in so you can be completely consumed by these things. To describe the barrier of resistance, I like to use this example. The example I'm going to have, if you could just picture it in your head, you start off with inaction. After you have inaction, you have the barrier of resistance. After the barrier of resistance, you have some action, and after some action, you have flow state. So to describe these 4 cycles, the first one you start off with is inaction. So with inaction, you're going to be distracted. Not only are you going to be distracted, you're going to be comfortable. Let's just say you're lying down in your bed. You don't want to get up for the morning. You don't want to take on the day. This is going to be the inaction that I'm talking about. This could even be overly consuming on your phone as well. One of the habits that I recently started is to put away my phone for the first 3 hours of the day, focus on what I need to focus on, get done with the work that I need to get done, and then I can go onto my phone after I'm done. There's been plenty of mornings where I wake up later than I usually would. I go on my phone, I get tired and go back to sleep. Obviously, that is not a part of a productive day, so I had to make some adjustments in order to get to a place where I am productive. So getting past inaction, you get onto the barrier of resistance. This is going to be a little bit of what I've already mentioned within the inaction. These are going to be things that get in the way of potentially being productive. This can be vices, this could be hanging out with friends, this could be focusing on other things that are going to be less important but bring more instant gratification. As humans, we are wired to go to the path of least resistance. This is going to give us the most comfort. But if you are trying to achieve anything in this life that is worth having, you're going to have to put aside your need to be comfortable and start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Moving on from the barrier of resistance, we have action. So now that you kind of get the ball rolling, you have some momentum to go ahead and get into your day. Maybe you start the day with putting some distractions aside and getting into what you actually need to focus on early on. The last thing you want to do is really distribute your attention in many different areas without actually having a purpose in doing that. I see this happen so many times, not only within my life, but within the lives of other people that I've seen, where they start their day by distributing their energy in a few different areas that really don't mean too much, and then they get distracted, and then they don't accomplish exactly what they're looking to accomplish in that day. The way you start your day is going to be very, very important. This is why I recommend my habit. So after action, you have flow state. With flow state, this is where your work becomes second nature. You do it naturally without even thinking. It becomes automatic and it just flows throughout your day. Now, ways to overcome the barrier of resistance so you can get into your action and get into your flow state. The ways that I personally get past the barrier of resistance, this is going to be through self-discipline. This is going to be through constant reassurance in what you're doing is the correct thing. This is going to be in the form of structure, where you have your day set for how you need to go ahead and go about it. And like I said earlier in the video, you're putting aside the distractions that don't really need your time and attention in the current moment. You start to begin to focus on things that are going to be more important. Now, at first, you're going to get caught in the barriers of resistance, which is part of the process. When you get caught in those barriers of resistance, just know that the way out is always going to be through self-discipline, through constant motivation, being constantly inspired, through having the constant reminders throughout your day. Persistence and self-discipline are 2 of the most important things when it comes to getting past the barrier of resistance. Without these 2 things, you're going to be caught in the barrier of resistance plenty of times without exactly knowing how to escape. And on top of that, you might even feel more guilty in your conscience because you know you're not doing what you should. Now, sometimes this comes naturally to people. They naturally get past the barriers of resistance and they get into the action when they need to. And now some of us are going to be a little bit more consumed and a little bit more distracted. So with those people that know themselves enough to know that they're distracted, You have to get rid of certain things within your environment in order to set it up for your success. So just to recap the barrier of resistance, what is the barrier of resistance? The barrier of resistance is going to be an invisible pull through distractions, through vices, and through environments that are not set up for you best to succeed in. These things are going to be based in instant gratification. The way you get past the barrier of resistance is going to be through persistence and self-discipline. Constant reminders are going to be so key within doing what you're doing, so you know what you're doing is correct, and you know that it actually is going to reap the benefits in which you are looking for. Along with structure, wrapping it all together, having structure within your day is going to make your day flow a lot more productively. The 4 cycles you will go through are going to be inaction, the barrier of resistance, some action, and the flow state. Flow state is going to be the ideal circumstance in order to get anything done that you're trying to get done. And I feel like some people really don't value this enough. When you're in the right headspace to do something, you're going to be able to get it done much quicker than if you even had self-discipline. Let's just say you started the day off with not wanting to be the most motivated to get your work done. If you were in the right headspace, if you were in the flow state, you're going to be more likely to want to go ahead and get that thing done, and not only get it done, but get it done in a timely manner. Achieving flow state is very, very important when it comes to productivity. Now, are you ready to go ahead and take on the barrier of resistance? Are you going to be able to separate yourself from the distractions that hold you back? Are you going to put aside the instant gratification and fight for the long-term gratification? Are you not going to let your environment completely dictate the way you choose to live your life? Will you actually be persistent and have the self-discipline to get past the barrier of resistance? I hope all these questions are answered with a yes. The reason for me talking about this today is because I've seen the barrier of resistance play a role within my life. There were certain things I was doing that led to certain things I wasn't doing. I had a guilty conscience and I couldn't exactly live the life that I wanted to live in 100% satisfaction when I know that I'm guilty in that way. I was a victim of the barrier of resistance, and I needed to learn exactly how to get past the barrier of resistance and achieve flow state. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, I also have a podcast. It's called the LifeOfAChamp podcast. I go live every Tuesday and Thursday around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to see more content from me and you want to see it in a more freely expressed way, like I said, go ahead and subscribe to the Life of Champ podcast and also turn on your post notifications. To wrap up the video, I hope you guys took some value from this and will continue to try to get past the barrier of resistance. I will be posting a video later this week, so make sure you're tapped in. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and until next video.